Hello, my name is Paulus Juknes. I'm a candidate master. Welcome to this video about Jobava London Attack. It will be a series, and in the first video we're going to cover basically the most common ideas and the main setups for black, how they can play. So Jobava London Attack is mainly these three starting moves: d4, d5, knight c3, and then we go bishop f4. Yeah, we have to begin with these moves. So for what players for whom I recommend this system? Yeah, so let's quickly discuss the the pros of the system. Yeah, so Jobava London is a universal opening, I would say. You can play it almost against anything black plays. Second big thing, it avoids tons of theory, and it's perfect for a busy or lazy player. Yeah, saves you a lot of time to focus on improving more important parts of the game and increase your level, yeah, to understand different sides of the game, or not just focus purely on openings. And the third thing, it's a very simple, easy to learn system. Even beginners can, after a few games, kind of get the ideas already. So, and I recommend I also sharing the study of this opening. So this first chapter is about more intro and ideas, but I'm gonna create more chapters about specific setups, yeah, dedicated to specific setup for black. And you can check, I'm gonna share a Lichess study. It will be public. You can easily access and kind of remember what to do and even prepare for some games. So I mainly recommend this opening as a universal weapon for white. Yeah, if you want just one opening to learn for white and be done, yeah, with openings until you reach, let's say, 1500 or 2000 online, then it's a perfect opening in my opinion. Very practical one for the players, and I can guarantee it works even on master level. I myself am playing and practicing this opening, so many guys don't know how to properly react. It's perfect for blitz, rapid. So mostly these videos will be kind of theory, will be not too deep for like under 1500, but you can easily get basically benefit from these videos if you're like 2000 player and so on. So okay, without too much philosophical thoughts, let's start. So d4, yeah, we're discussing mainly the ideas how white is playing for the moment. I'll also kind of talk about the systems a bit, what are the main setups in this video. So usually black can start in two main moves. Yeah, any other move we're gonna discuss in like sidelines chapter, like f5 or e6 or c5. The main moves are d5 and knight f6. Yeah, so black can start this way, but we are kind of forcing them to go d5 anyway with this knight c3 move. Yeah, very important to start with this move, not bishop f4, as black has some additional options, yeah, like London, and then you switch back to Jobava London. So very important to start with this knight c3 move. And next we are playing e4 if allowed. Yeah, so black has to really decide if he wants to fight for the center or not. Let's say they go g6. This will be analyzed like in the Pirc chapter, because it basically, now we are forcing, it will be like King's Indian player, yeah, but we're forcing him to suddenly get back into Pirc defense, because we didn't play c4. Yeah, we're not going for King's Indian, we're going for Pirc. And a very good setup against this Pirc is this queen d2 with quick bishop h6. So typical idea how we attack, and long castle with h4. So it's gonna be covered more deeply in the Pirc chapter. Okay, another, yeah, so from knight f6 you can easily get back into the normal thing. Yeah, if they play first d5 and then bishop f4. Yeah, so we can get back to this. So what else? If they play first c5, this will also get covered in the sidelines chapter. We can play d5, but I really like the simple dc5 any Dutch, yeah, and c5 will also be covered in sidelines. So let's move on. Knight f6. If they go c5 early move, challenging the center, we'll discuss this in the c5 chapters, yeah, c5 countering our center chapters. This c5 move can be played at any move basically by black. So here I'm offering this nice idea with e4. We're kind of countering his counter, yeah, like he makes a counter in the center and we counter it back. So this is a nice, interesting way to play, aggressive way to play with white. We're kind of sacrificing a pawn. It's like an Albint counter gambit reversed with tempo up. So we'll see more about this in dedicated c5 counter chapter. So basically, let's quickly discuss what are the main, from this main position, what are the main setups, yeah, and future upcoming videos will be. So the first one is e6 move. So this is Queen's Gambit decline setup, I call. Yeah, black wants to play maybe bishop e7, maybe bishop d6, maybe even bishop b4, or they're gonna include a6 possibly, yeah, with c5. But very common inaccuracy is this c5 idea here. So the first like chapter is about Queen's Gambit declined. Yes, c5. Because white has this jump knight b5, typical idea. We force the knight to go here because, yeah, this fork was happening. And suddenly with c3 we got like a dream London system, yeah, like a pyramid here. Our knight is perfectly placed, much better than this knight, superior. And our main simple plan is just to protect this knight and go for some kingside play. Bring the knight here and start pushing these pawns. So this is another typical idea. This knight b5 jump. I'm sure many players will make this inaccuracy against you. This c5 is a very typical, you could call it even a mistake, because engines and white gets, engines show much better for white, yeah, and from my practical games I can tell you very good positions for white. So because we force here this move, yeah, so c5 is a bad idea. What else can he play? He could play bishop b4 maybe, yeah, but here very important idea, typical idea. We'll discuss more about this line in the dedicated chapter. But we play knight e2, not allowing to double the pawns, yeah. Previously some players used to play this move, but this c5 is annoying and sometimes doubling the pawns, so knight e2 is kind of an improvement. And then we immediately try to break this pin to kick this bishop out. So this is knight e2, another typical idea. Whenever they go bishop before, we mostly play knight e2. Okay, what else can he go? Bishop d6, challenging the bishop idea, yeah. So we are not wasting time here by retreating the bishop, yeah, like in London. We are going for active, aggressive development. We even let him take, yeah, if he wants, let him take. So another typical idea, we are not afraid of them taking on f4, and we are not wasting time by retreating. And we capture back. For a moment it might seem these pawns are weak, yeah, doubled, but white has very nice dark square control and central control. So if they go c5, we just take it, we protect this pawn, and we develop these knights like this, and we play on the dark squares. Very typical play for white. Nicely positional, nice advantage, I would say, because this bishop is bad. Black will have to waste time exchanging it, but in the meantime we have the central control. Engine might show it's equal, but I can tell you from practice it feels very good for white to play these positions. Okay, so bishop d6 we discussed. And now the main move from this Queen's Gambit decline system is bishop e7. And our another typical idea against this sort of setup, we could go g4, or we could be sneaky and maybe even wait for them to castle and then launch g4. So this g4 is a typical Jobava attack move. If you can play it immediately, or you can wait a bit, yeah, it doesn't matter so much on your level. And again, if this c5, you already know what to do. We just kick the knight and we go again knight b5 because they didn't play a6. And again, we force this knight here. And we continue our attack, yeah, and strengthen this knight again like this. So that basically quickly covers Queen's Gambit decline system. So what are the other systems? Another type of system is, and basically from this video you can even start playing this Jobava, yeah, because I'm kind of covering the main systems. So you even if you're like from 1000 to 1500 level, you can just from this video start playing this opening. So another system is bishop f5. It's called a Slav setup. So here we have just to know the main idea for white, that we are going after this bishop. So we first play e3. They usually set up, yeah, like the Slav. They want this bishop out and then play e6. But this bishop, like, kind of reminds me of the Caro-Kann. It becomes our target. We go f3, and typical idea, we want to launch these pawns, go after this bishop. So game, couple more moves, yeah, game could continue like this. h6, we go bishop d3 next. If they exchange, you see how fast white is developing. Very easy play. Long castles, we bring the knight, and then we have many options to break in the center, maybe to go here later on. So I really like this position. Maybe black can maybe even try to stop it like this, yeah, but then we again quickly develop. We haven't committed anything wrong here. We're gonna go for a long castle anyway. So this is a Slav setup. Okay, what next setup black has? Well, it's kind of striking in the center with this c5 move, yeah. So the c5 can come at any moment, striking in the center. We just defend it. No need to take it and give away the center. We defend it, and now we're kind of threatening already knight b5. So again, if they make some move like this, yeah, we're gonna go again for this typical advantage. And again, this knight is badly placed here. So they usually go for a6 after capturing to prevent us. This reminds me a bit of a Caro-Kann, yeah, exchange already, but we can be aggressive here and we go after this bishop fast. And typical idea, many times in Jobava attack, we castle long. This often is our idea, yeah. That's why we launched the pawn so early on the king side. We intend to castle long most of the time. So okay, so this covers the c5 setup. It will be its own separate, yeah, c5. I call it countering kind of setup. The c5 because they leave the bishop still open. So, and the third thing, not the third, the fourth thing is the so-called Grünfeld setup. Here they can go g6. It can also arise from this move order. Like if they play this, we go here, and then they are forced to play this, yeah, line, and then or immediately they can go d5, and after that we are forcing him. He kind of decides, yeah. So why it's Grunfeld? Because they play this g6 with d5. Kind of King's Indian players might also go for this. So our idea against this g6, very easy to remember, yeah. Against Queen's Gambit declined setup, we go g4, but against this g6 we go, because we have a hook here, we go h4. Typical idea, we want h5. And a very typical mistake for black is castling too early. But then we can even sacrifice an exchange, typical idea, and we get a huge attack, I would say even winning attack here, because we are just we're exchanged down, but all our pieces are attacking basically. We're gonna castle, we're gonna bring the rook to h1, our queen can drop to h2 or h4, and this is just a decisive attack. So you can easily quickly win the games if black doesn't know this, how dangerous this h5 is. If they go h5, yeah, that's more, you should expect maybe more this move. Then another typical idea is this knight e5. We are preparing g4 in the long run. Yeah, they stopped our h pawn, but now we're still trying to opening to open the king side with g4. So if they kind of go for this, yeah, not letting knight e5, very interesting is the Navarra idea, queen d2. We are intending now knight e5, so they have to take, and they are quite happy to give away this bad bishop. But this is a very interesting position. White has good chances, I would say. We go castling along, we e4, rook g1 ideas, sometimes some sacks on g6 can happen. So if they stop knight e5, we are not too worried. But if they don't stop, typical idea, we go for this knight e5. And you see, best move here we'll look at in dedicated chapter is c5. But if black doesn't know what he's doing, he can quickly run into danger after we blast through with this g4 and we open the king side. Yeah, our intention is again long castle. Yeah, typical idea. Okay, so this g6, that kind of covers how to play against this g6 setup. Yeah, queen Grunfeld setup, and other lines when black doesn't go. d5 we kind of covered. Lastly, I want to cover quickly these kind of traps early on. For example, if they go early knight c6, maybe at the beginner chess it's a common mistake. After this move, they don't have an easy defense to protect c7. They probably have to only move e5, sack a pawn now. We can take it a6 maybe, yeah. Otherwise, we have this nice combination like this, yeah, sacking the queen temporarily and winning it back. So they have to kind of counterattack our own knight. These are like the best moves for both sides, but we're coming up pawn up after all these exchanges. So knight c6 is a bad idea. It allows knight b5. Same thing, another trap, very easy to miss, like on all lower levels. Again, we'll go after this c7 square. And we get this sort of position. Now some engine lines, bishop g5. We sack the bishop, but we win the rook in the corner. So knight bd7 and knight c6 are kind of falls into our trap with knight b5. So these are all basically typical ideas I just showed you. So the next videos will be about about all these 5 chapters. Yeah, Queen's Gambit decline setup, Slav setup, striking center setup with c5, Grunfeld setup, and other lines. I recommend if you want to kind of learn more deeply this opening, yeah, it's not maybe enough from these videos and my study on Lichess. I can recommend you the courses Jobava London System by Simon Williams and Connell, and there is also a longer version on Chessable. So Simon Williams is like OG of Jobava, yeah, Ginger GM. And another good course, there is some Neiman course on Chessable, but he's playing a bit different lines. I've seen there was some Bortnik course, yeah, about Jobava as well, but he's also playing a bit differently. Another good course would be Mina's Jobava by James Canty on Chessable. So if you want to learn more, I highly recommend to check out these courses. Okay, so see you in the next video when we'll be discussing Queen's Gambit decline setup. Thanks for watching and good luck.